Good day, class. Today we'll be talking about communicating in business organizations. So first, the scope of business communication. The term business communication is used for all messages that we send and receive for official purpose like running the business, managing an organization, conducting the formal affairs of a voluntary organization, and so on. Business communication is marked by formality as against personal and social communication. So business communication is so much different from social or personal communication because it has a degree of formality. When you say formality, it means to say that when we communicate or transact business, we have to be direct to the point because people in the organization are busy performing their own functions and they do not have so much time to entertain questions or queries. So we have to make it direct to the point. The success of any business to a large extent depends on efficient and effective communication. When you say effective and efficient communication, it means that when we communicate, we have to be clear and the communication or the message should be easily understood. It takes place or when done with care, such communication can promote business interest. Otherwise, it will portray the organization in poor light and may adversely affect the business interest. So when we communicate and transact business or communicate inside the organization, we have to do it with care because we want to, of course, improve our productivity and maybe when we are talking to our clients, we have to satisfy them. And when we are communicating poorly or we don't talk a lot or we don't the message is not clear when we communicate in the organization, it can adversely affect our business and affect our productivity. The communication is the lifeblood of any organization, and its main purpose is to effect change and to influence action. So when you say lifeblood, communication is the lifeblood of any organization. It means that communication helps the organization or business achieve its goals. In any organization, one of the main problems is of maintaining effective communication, a process that requires careful attention to details on the use of proper language. So maintaining a good communication or effective communication in the business or organization is not easy because it requires careful attention and it pays extra attention to details, especially in the use of appropriate words. So when you communicate, when you write a letter or communicate orally, you have to choose your words. You have to choose specific, clear, and direct words or language so that you can be easily understand and your order or command or any request will be easily entertained. For example, serious mistakes are made because orders are misunderstood or adjustments have not been addressed properly. This means that there is a problem because the communication is not clear, the message is not clear. And orders are, when message is not clear, it is misunderstood. So people cannot respond to your needs immediately. The customer is always right. Maybe an exaggeration, but in business, customers' service satisfaction means profit. In fact, service nowadays includes not only the product, but also communication skills that go with the product. That is why right now, when employers hire people to be part of their organization, they hire those people not only intelligent but has good communication skills, because this is what employers want to to have, so that when they have clients, these people can immediately communicate with their clients. Fairclough explains that communication makes businesses very competitive, and that synthetic personalization has redefined the discourse of business. Mass audiences, synthetic personalization has redefined the discourse of business. When you say synthetic personalization or personalized service, it means to say that when a client comes to a store or to any organization, a simple good morning or good morning ma'am is okay, but it is not actually okay. It means it makes the communication unnatural. That is why some some organization or businesses would have pakulo, no? When you say pakulo, they will some would give them, the clients will be given complimentary drinks, so that they will have they will feel, they will be able to get customer satisfaction. And you can see this or experience this in many hotels. For example, some people go to certain food outlets not just for food, but also for the service. How the crew entertains the orders of the customers are also very important. The value of effective communication within the organization heavily relies on human communication. This means that effective communication relies on human communication, how people in the organization interact with each other. And this comes from building a good relationship. No? Having a good relationship enhances productivity. And so, class, what happens when people in the organization are not in good terms? They don't build build relationship. Of course, it would result to bad communication. And bad communication could also result to poor performance of the company or poor productivity. If the intended meaning is not understood, a rift may ensue. When you say rift, there is a problem. So when there's bad communication, the message is not clear, a problem may take place, and the whole organization may suffer. So in the organization, there are two types, or in the context of business organization, there are two types of communication. First is internal communication, and the second is external communication. When people within the organization communicate with each other, it is called internal organization. So people inside the organization interacting with each other. So these people, the staff, for example, and the manager or the boss, do so to work as a team and realize the common goals. So this communication could be official or unofficial. When you say unofficial, the communication may take outside the company, but still the people are talking about their activities, about the business. So modes of internal communication include face-to-face and written communication. For example, some examples are memos, reports, office order, circular, fax, video conferencing, meeting, and so on. On the other hand, when people in the organization communicate with anyone outside the organization, it is called external communication. Again, there is an external person involved, meaning to say a person outside from the business communicating to the organization or to the staff, no, in a certain business. That is called external communication. These people outside the business organization may be your clients or customers, dealers, suppliers, distributors, medical practitioners, the general public, and the government agencies. So now we will be talking about examples of business communication. So letter A is business letters. The business letter is a written message used to transact business with which cannot be conveniently conducted orally. So we write business letter when we cannot do oral communication conveniently. There are certain reasons. For example, when the person we want to communicate is very far, so we write him or her a letter, or the person is not available at the moment. The business letter is formal and direct with no literary pretensions. When we say no literary pretensions, it is not beating around the bush, and there is no flowering word, or there are no flowering words. The business letter has twofold purpose. The first one is to serve as a record. So we put business letters into record so that we can the person sending the letter can follow up no his request, and of course as reference also no of the business organization about your request, so they can refer to your letter. The second one is the primary purpose, of course, to attempt to secure action from the reader. This means that a business letter uh, is only effective if it succeeds in building up goodwill and in securing a favorable response. So building up a goodwill here means that we want to build good relationship not to the business organization we are communicating, and we want to secure positive response or positive action to our request. Accuracy, clarity, conciseness, neatness, promptness in answering communication, and good quality stationery all serve to impress the reader. So the the content and the message should be clear, and that's very important. Another important thing is the format of the letter. The paper that we are using, the neatness of the letter, and how we write it is also important to impress our reader. If an organization or institution sends the inquiry, a letterhead is a must. So what you see here on the top of your screen is an example of a letterhead of MSU IIT. So, for example, if MSU IIT would like to communicate to another agency, so there must be a letterhead. The letterhead makes the inquiry an official communication. This means that the letterhead shows the identity of the organization, and the letter also of inquiry has been approved by the authority of the organization. Inquiries and replies. The simplest business letter is an inquiry of its reply. These letters, which ask or answer questions, are usually brief and present no special difficulty. The inquiry letter consists of 4 steps. A. State carefully the circumstances which necessitate the inquiry. B. State any facts needed by the reader in making a complete reply. Letter C. Ask for information or state the question. And letter D, express gratitude for the favor requested. So in this example class, this is a letter written by Sharma. She wants to know about various equipment that the company of Kamal can provide. She inquires for a catalog with details of latest equipment. Also, other questions or information she wants to add include this one. We have a huge requirement in our company. So Sharma wants to inform the manufacturer whether they can provide large number of equipment to her company. And she wants to inquire also whether the company of Kamal will be able to meet the necessities within the stipulated date. So there will be a deadline when the equipment will be delivered. She also would like to know whether Kamal's company can offer discount for the purchase of the equipment. And at the end, she looks forward to hear from the company of Kamal. The letter of reply should do the following things. A. Acknowledge the inquiry or state the circumstances necessitating the reply. B. Answer the questions carefully. And C. Build goodwill and pave the way for further contact. So this letter is a letter of reply. So you see at the top, request for catalog. Means about the request for catalog. So it opens with a thank you word, meaning acknowledging the letter, the inquiry letter, which is dated June 25th, 2019. And the letter answers the inquiry or questions such as illustrated, latest illustrated catalog together with price list and the terms. Next, dispatch of product will be sent after we receive your letter or order letters in 2 weeks. So it answers the question when the order can be delivered. Also, she said we could give 3% cash discount in 30 days from invoice. So here it answers the question if the person inquiring can get a discount. The last is we are looking forward to your orders soon. So it paves the way for further contact. In handling replies, the writer should be prompt and systematic. No? So this reply was written on July 2nd, 2019. If the material is not immediately available, the inquiry should be acknowledged and a date set for the final reply. This means, class, that if the material being inquired or requested is not yet readily available, you need to still reply to the person and inform him or her when you can give sufficient answer or final reply and provide clear answers to the inquiry. Example of a business letter is the order and acknowledgments. The order letter, as well as its acknowledgement and acceptance, constitutes a contract enforceable by law. A contract enforceable by law, class, means that two parties, for example, the customer and the supplier, agreed on specific terms, and violating the contract is punishable by law. Every statement in the order or acknowledgement letter should be scrutinized or examined very carefully. So class, before you send your order letter, you need to review it or have another person examine the letter or order to avoid miscommunication. An order letter should contain the following elements. First, name of the article ordered. Letter B, description of each item giving size, style, finish, material, weight, and so on. So letter B refers to the item specs or specification. The catalog number of the item if it is available. If not, the page number of the catalog. Letter D, quantity of each item wanted. Quantity of each item means that how many pieces of that item you want to order. Letter E, price of each item and the total price of the order. So this means that if the item costs 20 pesos and you want to order 2 pieces, so you have to also write the total amount, which is 40 pesos. Letter F, method of payment to be used by the buyer. So this may be, or rather you have to state whether you will pay cash or through bank-to-bank transaction, or how many days will you pay the order after receiving it. Letter G, method of shipment desired by the buyer. So this may be done through pick-up or door-to-door delivery. Letter H, address to which goods are to be shipped. So you have to state where you want to deliver your orders. And then letter I, date at which goods are desired. So you have to also state in your letter when you want the order to arrive. Do you want to arrive very soon or maybe the next 2 weeks? The actual list of goods to be purchased is properly placed in tabular form. So why in tabular form? So that the reader can easily understand your order and it makes your order looks organized. This is an example of an order letter. The order is for various paints. Dear Sir, thank you for your quotation and the price list. We are glad to place our first order with you for the following items. So here you see in the table the description of the items, enamels, synthetic, and white paints. The quantity, for example, for the enamel paint is 25 tins or 25 cans, which is weighing 100 pounds. And the unit price is 1,000 per item or per piece. So the total amount for that item is 25,000. So on. So here, the 70,000 here perhaps is telling us about the total amount of all the order. Okay. Next. So the writer also said that since the above goods are required immediately as our stock is about to exhaust very soon, we request you to send the goods through your motor van. So this is the mode, no, of delivery. We shall arrange payment within 10 days to comply. So maybe after receiving the order, they will pay 10 days after. Please send all commercial and financial documents along with the goods. We reserve the right to reject the goods if received late. So here at the end, they inform the seller or the supplier that they can reject the goods if the goods arrived late. Example of a business letter is letter giving instructions. This is done, for example, when an engineer or architect is giving written instructions by means of a letter to his subordinates. For example, the technical men or the laymen. These letters of instruction should show careful adaptation to the reader as well as clearness and courtesy in giving orders. To write an effective letter of instructions, the writer should know the reader to whom the instructions are given. So knowing the reader also means that the writer should know the type of language understood by the reader so that the reader can easily understand the instructions and he can perform the instructions given to him or her. Clarity is a very important element in writing letter of instruction. So avoid obscure or unclear words, inexact terms, and roundabout way or not direct way of telling the instructions. For clarity, you can write one statement paragraph for every instruction. Tone of the letter of instruction should be polite and courteous, never patronizing. Never patronizing means do not sound sorry for the reader because they have to do the instructions, but be impersonal and professional. Do not use too many emotions in writing the letter. Also avoid harsh imperatives or commanding tone. Please do not make the letter of instruction sound bossy. Use polite expressions such as, please see that, or you are expected to. Contents of a letter of instructions are as follows. A. A general statement stating the reason for the letter will pave the way for the detailed instruction. Letter B. The detailed instructions. And letter C. A request for a report, an expression of cooperation or thanks for the service rendered, or a statement opening the way for further correspondence to clear up obscure points. Example of a letter of instructions. So the first paragraph is a general statement about the construction of Platinum Towers Makati, of which the reader is the supervising engineer. And then the items 1, 2, and 3 are the detailed instructions. Once again, for clarity, it is better to write one paragraph or one statement paragraph for each instruction. And then the last one is a statement opening the way for further correspondence in order to clarify obscure points. Example of a business letter is the claim and adjustment letter. Claim and adjustment letters are used whenever a misunderstanding arises between two parties which cannot be easily handled by word of mouth. Essentially, the aim is to offer justice or solution to both parties. Accuracy, clarity, courtesy, and honesty are essential for maximum effectiveness. As in writing a claim and adjustment letter, we have to be very critical because you don't want to make the misunderstanding go out of control, but we want to fix the communication problem. The claim letter wants the reader to understand what was wrong or the mistake in a given transaction. Therefore, the writer should not ask for more than what he is entitled to do or asking more demands by deceiving the other party. The letter consists of steps. A. A complete and careful statement of what is wrong. Letter B. A statement showing the inconvenience to which the claimant has been put to arouse interest of the adjuster. C. A request for an explanation and adjustment or whatever is needed to make good the error or to correct the error. Letter D. A further appeal adapted to the reader's pride, self-interest, sense of fair play, or fear. Is an example of a claim letter. So the opening statement is about the inconvenience in which the blue jacket water pumps were not delivered yet. The second paragraph shows the inconvenience that if the water pumps will not be delivered soon, they may not be able to dispose or sell all the water pumps because it's not in demand anymore if it arrives late. Letter C, or the third paragraph, shows how to correct the error. So the writer states that this matter needs investigation. And the last paragraph appeals to the self-pride, self-interest, or sense of fair play. So the writer said that there needs to be, or there must be a logical explanation why this inconvenience occurs because referring to their past transactions, these transactions were all highly satisfactory. Adjustment letter is by the company who made a mistake or error. In adjustment letter, this is the order. A. An expression of interest and sympathy or an apology. B, a clear and complete statement of the facts so that the claimant may understand the adjuster's point of view. C, an offer of an adjustment which is fair to both parties. And D, an assurance that the situation will not happen again to build up damaged goodwill. An example of an adjustment letter. So in the first paragraph, there is an apology, an expression of apology. We apologize for the delay in the delivery of the pumps. And then on this next paragraph, it shows the facts or the reasons why the delivery was late. The pumps were not shipped as scheduled because another company purchased all the pumps we had in stock 2 days before we receive your order. And then the next will be an offering to adjust of an adjustment. So here the writer wrote that the reader that they will be able to ship the water pumps not later than February 26. And lastly, an assurance that this inconvenience will not happen again. So we earnestly hope that a regrettable incident like this will not happen again.